Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including what's going on with Furiosa in the box office projections. X-Men gets a writer attached. The new X-Men movie in the MCU. This is interesting. Adam Wingard leaves the Monsterverse. He's not going to direct the third movie. Oh man, that sucks. Star Trek is going to get a reboot with a new writer and producer and show creator. Okay, well that's interesting. Beetlejuice 2 has a new poster. What's going on with Glen Powell? He's Hollywood's leading most anticipated man right now. Wow. The Smashing Machine. What's going... Yeah. The Rock. Everybody's talking about that picture that got released yesterday. We got a bunch of other headlines like Netflix stuff. Smashing Machine. Whatever. I don't know. Hey. And then we're going to get into my review for Back to Black at the end of the show, and as well as explain what's going on with that Donald Trump movie that everybody's talking about. That's got some feathers ruffled. But as you can see, that those stories are not on the docket for today. We are a live show. So Byford in live chat says, hey, how's it going, Byford? Yes, if you didn't know, we are a live stream. So come join us, and we will be talking periodically throughout the show. Headlines, stuff like that. Excuse me. Oi. It is what it is. I just realized my camera's off but whatever. I'll fix that. We'll go with today's show just like this. We're going to have to. Okay. Let's get into today's movie news headlines with Furiosa and box office projections. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, eyes 85 million Memorial Day weekend in the wasteland. So, yes, we had our long weekend last weekend. In the States, they've got a 4-day weekend as from some people. Oy. So, Mad Max Furiosa will have a 3-day weekend for sure, but they're saying it's on track for an $80 to $85 million opening, and I would say that seems about right. I have been eagerly anticipating Furiosa since it was announced that Anya Taylor-Joy was taking over the lead role, because Charlize Theron wasn't going to come back, and I was like, well, do we really need to see a Furiosa story then? But the trailers, Anya looks like she's going to do a fantastic job in this. I want to see what Chris Hemsworth does as Dementis, as the bad guy. And 80 to 85 million will be about right. I think we're going to put that up in the community tab today. We're going to put up another poll. People like those polls, and we're going to say over under 85 million for this weekend for Furiosa. Now, I'm seeing it tomorrow at 3 p.m. So stay tuned for my straight out of the theater reaction for that. I'm, as I said, really looking forward to it. I think it can make there 80 to 85 million. Yeah. So this tomato score right now is 87%. We got early reviews last week, so we don't have to really do anticipation this week, other than seems to be holding at 87%. Minneapolis Star Tribune. There aren't many directors who understand action well as Miller does. And like Fury Road, Furiosa is filled with awe-inspiring displays of stunt work and choreography. Well, that's exactly what I want to hear. The driving sequences, the lengths that the stunt team will go to put something up on the big screen, spectacle-wise, is what I'm really looking forward to. And then, of course, we're going to have the backbones of Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth acting-wise to anchor us in for all of that stuff, which is good. Really looking forward to Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm hyped about this movie. Are you guys for Furiosa? Now, there are some other headlines out there that George Miller is talking about. Well, we could be doing a new Furiosa story set after Fury Road. Well, you also talked about doing a movie called Wasteland that would be a prequel to Fury Road, but with Max. Are we ever going to get that? Like, I think people want to see another Tom Hardy Max movie because he did a really good job. Uh, and this is going to fill in some of the not really loose ends, but story lines for Furiosa, kind of like where she came from and stuff like that. Could there be another adventure for her in the works? Maybe, but I think people would prefer. Okay, this was a nice little side thing, but we like Max is the main draw. Like he even says it in the title, guys, a Mad Max saga. But Max is not going to appear in this film. Like, don't expect like a small cameo from Tom Hardy. We're not going to get that. We may get a reference to like a policeman or something like that, but I don't expect. I don't expect I don't expect a tease or anything from Max in this. But I'm Furiosa, guys. 85 million. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And we will talk about it. Hey, if you like talking movies and stuff, come join us here on Mirror Domains. There are all my other social media handles. We put out a lot of stories, movie news stuff, and fill you in with what you need to know about what's going on with movies today and stuff. As well as doing live shows like check out Jessica Alba new movie Trigger Warning. Yeah, in fact we are. That's going to be in the hit or miss stuff. I pulled that trailer because it came out yesterday. We'll talk about it when we get there. Because I do like Jessica Alba. X-Men is coming out in the MCU, and apparently we got a writer for it. Let's take a look. Marvel's X-Men movie lands Hunger Games writer Michael Leslie, the person who did the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's in talks to pen the script. Oh, he's in talks. So he was responsible for Dark Phoenix? Oi! I don't know if I like that. So who is this guy? Let's take a look at his resume. Leslie, did I pull that up? Michael Leslie. There we go. Michael Leslie. There he is. So he's going to be writing the new X-Men, huh? Now, this comes a bit of a shock. We knew that there was going to be like a competition to see who the writers were going to be. I liked the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It quietly flew under the radar for a lot of people, right? But what else has he done? Assassin's Creed. Did anybody like that Assassin's Creed movie? I heard bad things and I kind of stayed away from it. Now You See Me 3. Okay, so he's doing that one. We talked a bit about that project a while ago. Now You See Me 3. We just talked about some casting, right? Ruben Fleischer, Rosamund Pike, Ariana Greenblatt joining that cast. Justice Smith. Just saw him in... I saw the TV Glow, but let's not get too sidetracked here. Working on the untitled X-Men film. So, we know that we're going to eventually get them. And people want, like, I don't know, Denzel Washington to play Magneto and stuff like that. I don't know if that's going to work. He's a little bit too old, but I mean, so was Ian McKellen. So it's kind of like, who knows which direction they can go. They can go young again. Or they can go old. I don't know what they're going to... I'm talking about for Professor X and Magneto. I think... I would have always liked to have seen like separate stories of like Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey first before they become the X-Men. But we kind of like all know the origins of the X-Men now, right? How Charles Xavier put that school together. So it's just got to get like rebranded for the MCU. And it's going to be curious to see exactly how they're going to explain mutants within the universe now. And I think I'm going to be okay with this writing choice. If you guys ever saw Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the writing, I think, was one of the standouts, for sure. Um, I had absolutely no problem with it. This does not bother me. This is a story that will be splashed up all over the trades today because everybody's wanting that X-Men headline clickbaity kind of thing. 89 by the audience. People who saw Hunger Games really liked it. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, 63% by critics. What do you guys think about this? Is this a good match for the X-Men? Where do you want it to go? Following X-Men 97, the show, that show has been getting a lot of praise. So I hope that they can somehow work in a way that give us the characters that we recognize, though. Like, give us the Rogue that flies. And I want to see her strong and stuff. I want to see Gambit. We don't need to go to an origin story of the X-Men, do we? Do we need that? Hunger Games writer Michael Leslie for the X-Men movie is in talks. Seems like he's the front runner. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Chris O'Brien in the live chat says, "Hey James, what's Assassin's Creed movie are you talking about? I think they're making a sequel of that movie now, I heard." No. No, they will not be making a sequel to the Assassin's Creed movie. Let's pull up the Rotten Tomatoes score for that one. I don't even think the box office was all that great either. Well, you know, maybe 240 million worldwide on a budget of 125. So yeah, no, probably had to make about 250 to break even. And it doesn't. The property itself just doesn't seem. 18% by critics, a 42 by the audience. This is one of those scenarios where nobody liked it. This is a Madame Web scenario, and unfortunately, Assassin's Creed's not going to have the Madame Web clout that it seems to be getting on Netflix. We'll talk about that in our hit or miss stories as well. I don't see an audience clamoring for this. Like every now and then, a good adaptation comes along, but it's been mostly done better for TV series like The Last of Us. I still am haunted by Fallout. I'm still thinking about some of those episodes and how well crafted that series was. And I'll be bold. I think I liked Fallout better than The Last of Us. But Assassin's Creed, I don't know. No, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, where are we at? Adam Wingard. Adam Wingard, guys, you know how much I like the Monsterverse. I like Godzilla X Kong. Adam Wingard not returning for Godzilla X Kong sequel. Well, he was going to be in line for it. He had a great idea for the third one. And I like the tone and direction he was taking it because he was taking it all in the direction of the monsters. Like there were just big sections where it was just King Kong. It was just Godzilla doing things, right? Going down to Tiamat's lair, Kong looking for other apes in the hollow earth and stuff like that. I like that stuff. See, you can do it without humans. You can. And Adam Wingard was handling these reins very well. So what's going on here? We got to be a little bit careful here because some people are saying, as he walks away, kind of like, well, if you add walks away, does that mean that he went away in kind of in a hissy fit? Or was there some disagreement? I don't know. So Godzilla X Kong has made 564 million worldwide. It is a success. It is. And he will not be returning for the third installment, says multiple sources from The Hollywood Reporter. The parting of ways is described as amicable and stemming from timing issues. The door remains open for future returns. Okay, so it doesn't sound like sour grapes, the way that this would suggest. The sensationalized headline would have you believe that there's some bad blood going on there. But I don't think that there is. So Godzilla X Kong was just a fun movie. I thought it was was a good time at the theaters, and I liked the tone of it. And I didn't think that I would. I didn't think that I would like this the smaller ape story, but they used it fairly well, and that had to do with the execution of the story, which falls on the director Adam Wingard. So that doesn't mean that somebody else can't come in here and pick this up and take it in and expand upon it. And there is the old ideology of dinosaurs in this punditry universe that say, well, maybe it's a good idea that the director doesn't come back for the third one because it gets all tired. Like Sam Raimi shouldn't have come back for Spider-Man 3 because his vision was just past its expiry date. Get out of here with that nonsense. If a guy's got a good vision for it, he can land it. And it kind of bums me out because when we look at the tracking for Godzilla, the MonsterVerse movies, it's been pretty solid. Kong Skull Island is still the highest one. And somebody was saying that the movies with Kong in it do the best. So Kong Skull Island made 561. Godzilla's solo movie, King of Monsters, 383. Godzilla X Kong. So again, see the jump there from King of Monsters to versus. It's quite a bit. And then it really jumps for New Empire. So it's been gaining traction. The trajectory has been going up. People want to see this. And little movies like Godzilla -1 don't hurt it at all. You don't see anybody out there complaining saying, well, I'm confused. Which Godzilla is it? No, we're smart enough movie fans now. We're smart enough about all of this stuff because we consume media so quickly that little channels like myself get the word out there on TikTok and across other platforms where it's kind of like, okay, I understand that there's a difference between Godzilla -1 and Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. And both have done well. Like, this has been a great time for the MonsterVerse, and the numbers prove it, man. The numbers prove it. Now, it's not going to be, I don't think it'll ever be like $1 billion franchise. I think it's probably hit its peak right about now. But if you can bring in other movies with the budget, with the lower budgets, like 100 million, you'll make your 400 to 500 million making Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla X Kong movies. So Wingard out, it's kind of a bummer. Not a big fan of that, but we'll have to wait to see who can pick this up. Who would you like to see come back or direct the next Godzilla X Kong? Who would you like to see? Who would I like to see, James? Who would I want to see? Well, we know that Gareth Edwards is doing the next Jurassic World. But I would like to see Gareth Edwards come back and have another crack at this. Because I liked a lot of aspects of his first Godzilla movie, but let him play with Kong and the MonsterVerse. Because you know Gareth Edwards likes monsters. A Del Toro Godzilla X Kong with aliens. Oh my God, that would be awesome. There it is. That's my pick. What do you guys think? Who should pick up the reins now that Adam Wingard is out of the MonsterVerse? I'll keep my eye on it for sure. Chris Ober. Well, so what does the Beetlejuice 2 poster look like, James? Well, we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Arglass Viking says Skull Island director Jordan Robert. Yes, Arglass. That's also a good call. Because Skull Island, I forgot how in depth and deep like it got story wise, right? Especially with the pilot that got marooned there and then coming home. Like there were some tones in there that I really liked. Bifer says my dream director would make Peter Jackson. Bifer says no. Yes, Peter Jackson. Maybe this will be the poll. Okay, yeah. Today that'll be the poll. Up on the community tab. I'll put up Peter Jackson and Del Toro or Gareth, and we'll see if we can get see who votes for who to come back now that Adam Wingard is out. And then tomorrow we'll put the Furiosa box office poll up. YouTube is saying really use that community tab to help drive people traffic towards the channel. Put Colin Trevorrow too by first second. I think we can manage that. All right. Next, Star Trek getting a reboot. Is it? Is it really going to get a reboot? I don't know. Let's take a look. Sorry. X-Men Dark Phoenix's Simon Kinberg is in talks to produce new Star Trek film franchise at Paramount. Simon Kinberg, the director of Dark Phoenix. Now, I liked certain things about Dark Phoenix. They just haven't, let's put the fact that they never really did any of the X-Men all that well. Like, there were some good ones, like Days of Future Past. I really like First Class still. X2 is also still fairly solid. But we still haven't gotten, our Cyclops proper yet. We haven't gotten our Storm properly yet. We haven't gotten our Rogue properly yet. So let's put that aside. And if you want to hear me talk about that, we talked about the new writer for the X-Men story just a few stories ago. But Simon Kinberg coming on to produce new Star Trek film franchise. So what does this mean? Remember, last spring, JJ was out saying that, oh, we're going to make a Star Trek 4. Chris Pine and everybody's like, oh, this is news to me. We don't even have contracts yet. And Chris Pine has recently said, well, I thought there was a script. Well, I guess not. Are they going to just jettison that? I think it's time to say yes. And it looks like the studios are finally coming on board and saying, it's time to say goodbye to the Abrams verse. That Kelvin's alternate storyline. You've got your 3 movies, guys. And I don't want to see a recast Chekhov. You got 3 of them. It's time to move on. And Kinberg taking it over. I know that the pedigree there, people cringe because of Dark Phoenix, but he does have some creative things in his repertoire. So, do they give us a little of idea of what's this going to be? Seth Graham Smith, who penned the upcoming Beetlejuice 2, will be writing the screenplay for this Star Trek. And it's set to involve the creation of Starfleet and humankind's first contact with alien life. Well, wouldn't that be with the Vulcans? And the creation of warp drive from Zephyr Cochrane? That's sort of what that would be about, right? Unless they say that aliens came before, they just didn't make themselves aware that much. But the formation of Starfleet, it would have to be after Zephyr. Well, if the first contact with alien life was in the canon that we recognize, was Zephyr Cochrane with the Vulcans once he activated his warp drive. Now, are they going to acknowledge that the Next Generation crew helped them out with that? It would be nice if they kept that continuity. But then, I'm talking about this universe, in the Star Trek universe here, where it wasn't until then that humanity started to rally behind the concept of, improvement, because up till that point, humanity was in disarray and fighting with each other in wars and such. And then when we finally got contact with alien life, that's when we decided to evolve, right? So there is some interesting stories to be told there, for sure. Do you guys like that idea? Or do you want to see one more with the Abrams verse? I don't think so. There is currently no planned release date for the Abrams one. Paramount was angling for a 2025 opening. But that one's kind of fizzled out. I don't expect that one to fizzle out. But Kinberg in for Star Trek, guys. I think it's about right. And get off the idea that Star Trek needs to be Star Wars. It's not. Um, I know that JJ did that, and everybody liked the big sweeping camera movements, the flashy lens flares, and the silliness of the audacity of the situations in the Abrams-verse movies. It was an interesting take. I still consider it sort of like Elseworld kind of stuff, which it pretty much was. But you got your three movies. You got your three movies. So rejoice. I'm not a big fan of going back in time, but I like. There were talks about a Picard movie maybe coming along. I would rather see that. Bring us forward. Bring us Captain Seven of Nine, for crying out loud. Ah, that's what I want to see. I think that's what most people want to see. If you haven't seen Picard season 3, it's spectacular. And Jerry Ryan as Seven of Nine, it's just so like this is the timeline where I want to be. Like I want to see, okay, where does Starfleet go after this? What happens in the universe, kind of thing. Bring us forward with technology, right? And how they're dealing with exploring the universe. And do it. Well, she can still do it. She wants to do it. Going back in time and telling us the origins of Starfleet with Kinberg. What do you guys think? Yes? No? Maybe so? Arglass says, I thought the Abrams version was well cast. It will be interesting to see who will make the cut for the new cast. Yeah. But I don't expect to see Kirk. Well, if it's all about Zephyr and Cochrane and the Vulcans, you're not going to see Kirk or anything like that. You're not going to see the Enterprise. Chris Schober, hey James, have you ever tried to bring a drink called Liquid Death? No, I don't drink a lot of caffeine. As I drink coffee. My coffee's decaf. I know. But I like to sleep at night. And they say caffeine's good for muscle building. I don't know. But thanks for the suggestion. We'll see. Let's talk about the story you wanted there, Chris. Beetlejuice 2 poster. Beetlejuice teaser poster acknowledges the long wait between films. Okay. We got the teaser for that. We got to be getting a full trailer for this soon, I would imagine. September 6th is when Beetlejuice comes out. So let's take a look at this poster. You've waited an eternity for this. Let's blow that up a little bit. Only in theaters. So it's just him waiting in the room there, right? If it is him. I think it is him. What's that? A head in a... Is that supposed to be like an escape artist? Died in his own lockbox? You know that's going to be cheeky humor like that. It's better than... Well, is it better than a floating heads poster? No. It's just his feet tapping, waiting. Beetlejuice, September 6th, guys. Quick new poster. Let me know what you thought about that. Glen Powell is in the headlines, and people can't stop talking about... What do you... Put that away. Glen Powell finally conquered Hollywood, so why is he leaving? He's not leaving. In fact, we're going to see him next month in Twisters 2, right? And I'm really looking forward to that. And he's getting cast in a lot of stuff. Glen Powell is. So there's a big article up on THR, because he's going to be on the next issue. Red Hot Glen Powell. And he's finally getting his recognition. He does have the star power. He's got that vibrancy where the camera seems to like him. And he's a competent actor. So I think he's going to have a, yeah, he's the next big star, and it doesn't feel forced, right? You know how sometimes when they try to put somebody like uh, John Carter in our face and say, okay, here's your new big Hollywood star, and we're like, no, we're not having that. Let me see, Twisters. This is from the Twisters. Um, Glen Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones. I'm really looking forward to this. Um, Stop with the oohs and the ums, James. So that's the evil team, right? Or no, she's on the good team. They're going to be rival teams. I can't remember. There he is. Takes a while for him to show up. I still think he should be like Green Lantern. He should be our new Green Lantern. That's what I'm picking. Glen Powell grows too big for his shirt. Yeah, Hourglass says. Well, hey, if you got it, don't be ashamed of it. Hey, if you've got a chest, let it fly. I don't, so I'm a little bit jealous. So this is a rather lengthy article. He talks about being, being influenced by Tom Cruise, working with him on Top Gun Maverick. So it is a good read. I'd implore you to go check that out. Is that him with Sydney Sweeney? I still need to see that movie. Anyone but you. Anyone but you. Pfeiffer says watch Fresh with Daisy Edgar Jones. That's on Hulu, right? Well, I am signing back up for I am signing up for Disney Plus again. So if Hulu's got it, maybe I'll watch it. Because we're just around the corner from The Acolyte, guys. The Acolyte starts soon. And we're going to be doing full live watch-alongs for that. Yeah, and then we're also going to, next month, when The Hitman comes out on Netflix with Glen Powell, we'll be doing a full live watch-along for that one. Good stuff. But he is getting eyed for a lot of projects. Glen Powell, the star in Heaven Can Wait reimagining with Stephen Gaghan penning the screenplay. Heaven Can Wait. What was that? I asked. That was that Warren Beatty picture when a quarterback accidentally is taken away from his body in an over-anxious angel by an over-anxious angel before he was meant to die, returns to life in the body of a recently murdered millionaire. It sounds vaguely familiar. If I saw it, I completely forgot about it. So, like, this is, how old is that? 1978. So that's like 45 years old. Yeah, it's about time you can maybe take a interesting twist on that story. And with Glen Powell, why not? He's showing that he can carry these movies. And I think Twisters is going to prove that people will be okay with Glen Powell taking us over, right? Saying that this is who we want to see take over. Yeah, it's not like a Taylor Kitsch situation where it's like, here's your new movie star. Take it. Yeah, we're gonna put him in everything, and if you don't like it, too bad. No, it's not. Glen Powell kind of like humble. He came off very humble in this, right? So, and that's what I like about him. That's what it seems like, that humbleness translates to the screen, right? You don't hear stories of him kind of like, get away from me, I'm a movie star, kind of thing, right? You don't hear stories like that. And it's probably because he was mentored by people like Tom Cruise, who doesn't do stuff like that. Shows you how to deal with the fame and stuff like that. So, Glen Powell, star on the rise. No, not on the rise. He's already there, guys. Hourglass Viking says in the live chat, I'm currently watching Daisy Edgar Jones and Andrew Garfield in Under the Banner of Heaven. Good performances from both, but dense subject matter. Did I see that one? Under the Banner of Heaven? Is that the one where he goes to a small town? He's like a... He's a detective in a small town or something. It's a mini series. Okay, yeah. I do like Daisy Edgar Jones. She's also going to be big too. Heaven Can Wait was a good movie, but I was left unfulfilled at the end. Warren's character got a raw deal. Maybe that's why I didn't remember it. Like he gets, yeah. Next, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is back in the headlines. This time for not a bad thing, not for showing up to work late, but for his first look at The Smashing Machine from where he's going to be playing MMA icon Mark Kerr, Betty Safdie's A24 drama. So if you followed social media all yesterday, guys, there he is right there. People say he's unrecognizable. Well, he's got a hairpiece on, obviously. MMA fighter, huh? I don't know how I feel about The Rock right now. Because all of those stories of him showing up to work late and not apologizing for it, not coming out and addressing all of those headlines and stuff, it's left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth for The Rock. Like, and when you hear things like when he does show up, he's a good dude. Like he treats you well. It's just you have to wait for hours and hours and hours on him, and I don't respect that. But anyway, I'm not going to try to let that mar my experience. The Smashing Machine first look. A lot of people were looking at this yesterday. I don't know anything about this. Was after my time in the UFC. Like I watched like the first 8 or 10 UFCs before they had rules. Like the only rule I think they had was you can't. No, because even in the first couple of UFCs, you could just hit a guy's groin. There was like a boxer versus like a who was a capoeira guy or something, and he just went down and started punching the boxer in the groin. It was just like what, that just stuff doesn't happen in the UFC anymore because it's become more of a more disciplined kind of thing, right? But Emily Blunt is going to be in this, really. Well, they did work together on that boat movie, Jungle Cruise. So yeah, you would think that if Dwayne Johnson was so bad at his work ethic, then you think people like Emily Blunt would be like, "Oh, I'm not working with that guy again." You think people like Kevin Hart would be like, "Oh, I'm not working with that guy again." But they do, right? So maybe there isn't maybe those stories are a little bit fallacious. I don't know. I do not know. Bifer says Mark Kerr's story is sad and depressing, depicting this documentary, The Smashing Machine. Is it? Is it a little bit like that Wrestling Brothers movie last year? The Iron Claw? Is it like the Von Erich brothers? Oh, good for you, Chris. Have a sausage and egg. I started and ended with KI. Never got into UFC. Yeah. Kevin Hart and Emily Blunt probably do the same thing. I don't know. K1. Okay. Smashing Machine. Expected 2025. It is an interesting image, but you got to remember, just because he looks different, he's still probably going to end up acting like The Rock. That's what a lot of people seem to forget. Next. This is a story I really didn't want to get into, but it's splashed all over the place, and we just can't avoid it. Gary Oldman clarifies Harry Potter criticism. I only had one book in the library of Sirius Black. So I guess, was this another jab at J.K. Rowling? Aye. So, in wildly popular franchise, and was asked to clarify his comments, his his acting was mediocre. Well, actually, from all the reactors that I see, and everybody said that Gary Oldman as Sirius Black was like a very much a highlight for them in the Harry Potter franchise. So Oldman spoke at Cannes on Wednesday to ensure fans of J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World adaptations were offended by his words. Not to disparage anyone, he says, out there who are fans of Harry Potter and the character who I think is much beloved. What I meant by that is that I think as an artist, my painter, you are always hypercritical of your own work. Okay, so he was calling his work mediocre. If you're not, and you're not satisfied with what you're doing, and that would be death to me. If I had watched a performance of myself and thought, my God, I'm fantastic in this, then that would be a sad day. My best work is next year. He attempted to clarify what he meant. Okay, so he's trying to take it of the angle of, well, I could have done better, kind of thing. There's always room for improvement, kind of stuff. Gary Oldman, he's a legend. He's one of the best all-time actors working. Like, how could he not be in? He would have to be in everybody's top 10 list for acting-wise, right? He's one of the most versatile actors out there. The dude transforms into roles. Like, think about Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg from Fifth Element to, say, something a little bit more serious in tone, well, I was going to say Dracula, but Leon, The Professional, right? He's a bad guy in that one. Well, actually, those are both bad guys. Those are all bad guys, James. And then, of course, yeah, Sirius Black. Take that. Like, he does stuff with his voice. Commissioner Gordon in the Nolan-verse movies. So much versatility. And then when he just plays normal roles like in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, he's also very, like, awesome. So I wouldn't get too testy about some of this stuff. I know that some people felt like he was poo-pooing all over it, but he comes out and he clarifies his statements. So, there you go. Gary Oldman is top tier. Arglass says, always a standout. Most people on Harry Potter had not acted before, so Gary was a seasoned professional compared to most. Chris Schober, Deadpool and Wolverine, Giant Ant-Man trailer just dropped 5 minutes ago, James. Actually, it dropped like yesterday, that one. I'm not watching all of the little TV spots. Those little trailers, like the beer commercial, Bubs one, like they're only like 15 seconds and then they attach the regular trailer that we've all seen already. Like, I mean, they're fun. They're fun. Let's move on, though. Where are we at? 45 minutes? Let's get on to some Netflix headlines. Madame Web finds a huge audience on Netflix, proving people can never look away from a dumpster fire. But here's the thing. I think I came out of Madame Web, and I was like, I didn't think it was the worst movie of the year. I know that a lot of people wanted to label it as the worst. And I know it's got like really bad tomato scores, 11%, 57%. But I still think Strangers Chapter 1 is probably the worst. Night Swim is terrible. Lisa Frankenstein is not good. Like, at least in Madame Web, you had competent acting. James, how could you possibly say that? Well, at least Dakota Johnson and the rest of the girls were trying. Uh, you didn't get that in Lisa Frankenstein. They were trying, but you felt like the director didn't know how to deal with them, right? In movies like Lisa Frankenstein and Strangers Chapter One, it's just it's mind numbing. It's like pulling teeth compared to Madame Web, that has some flashy and interesting stuff to look at occasionally. Because if you like Dakota Johnson, then Madame Web's got some value in there. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it was one of the worst things of the year, although I said that it has been, because that's just the majority consensus. Big movie, the casual movie fans, casual movie fans don't go out and see The Night Swims. They don't see Strangers Chapter 1. They don't see, they definitely don't see Lisa Frankenstein. Like, the breadth of movies that I see, which is a lot, is way more than even like some movie pundits and other people in the movie talk universe see. Like, I don't think you'll ever hear Campia talk about Strangers Chapter 1 or I Saw the TV Glow. You're not going to see Christian Harloff talk about I Saw the TV Glow or Back to Black. You're not going to see those types of people talk about that kind of stuff because they know they got to keep it focused in on the comic book stuff and like that. That's why here on Mirror Domains, you get a wide range of stuff, guys. A wide range of stuff because this movies is my bag. This is my passion. This is what I like to do. Deadpool and Wolverine, Presumed Innocent Trailer 2 from Jake Gyllenhaal just dropped. Yeah, that's a series. That's a series though, Chris. We looked at the first trailer when that dropped. Bifer says, worst movie of 2024, Madame Web or Lift with Kevin Hart. Actually, I had fun with Lift. Lift was harmless. Because if you liked movie, because we just watched like Kaleidoscope, right? And Fubar, where there was like a team of people working to take down a score. And yeah, it was far-fetched, but like Kevin Hart, I thought did a pretty decent job in that, and I liked the rest of the crew. Vincent D'Onofrio is the disguise guy. Who's that guy? It had the guy from. Was that the guy from Army of the Dead? But yeah, they all had good chemistry. I like that. Harold and Purple Crayon trailer, Zach Levi just dropped, James. Well, I don't know if we'll get to all these trailers, guys. More Netflix titles. So, Madame Web, big on Netflix. I don't think I'll be watching it, but it is what it is. Okay. Is that all the Netflix stuff? I thought we weren't done with that, James. I thought we had more stuff. Yes, we do. Netflix spikes the football behind its NFL mega deal. What's the cost of a game on the streaming giant? $7 million each. So what's going on here? So is the NFL going to be on Netflix? I don't know if I like that. They said that WWE Monday Night Raw is going to be on Netflix, but it's not. I think it's only on in the States. So I'm guessing that a deal like this will only be in the Netflix States. It won't be in Canada or UK or anything, which sucks. I don't like that territoriality BS. You got to take down those walls, man. Because people just use VPNs or whatever, right? To get past those. So if the NFL comes there, the Hollywood Reporter says this pair cost about $75 million a piece. That would be consistent. They would have 2 mid-sized movies or 2 NFL games, which not have certainly the benefit of a built-in audience. But the thing is that Netflix is movies. And I'll use a YouTube analogy here. If I started to make videos about like politics on this channel, because I do follow politics, Is anybody from the movie audience here on the channel going to watch those videos about politics? And then what happens if those videos about politics skyrocket the channel? Nobody, the political audience will come over and say, we don't want to hear about movies anymore, James, and then I'll have to split the channel. So, Netflix, what are you doing by this? Are you saying that you want to be a sports entity carrying thing, or do you want to be about movies? You're sending kind of like mixed signals with your content. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Well, we'll keep our eye on that. All right. What do I got next? Okay, before we get into any more trailers, I think... Yeah, no, let's get into some trailers. Let's watch some trailers. Did I pull the IMDb for that? No, I didn't. All right. So, like they're making 6 Rebel movies. No, they're not. Yeah. Well, we already went over that. They're not making any more Rebel Moon movies. I had nicely forgotten about Rebel Moon Part 2. Yeah, sorry. Rebel Moon Part 2 is probably up there as one of the worst movies of the year. Oi! Oi! It's a stinker. It truly is. Okay. I don't think I'm going to chop this out or not. I am a Jessica Alba fan. I hear that she's a bit of a diva behind the scenes, though, when she works on projects, that she can turn on an instant and be that snappy, angry, bitter movie star. But I like her anyway, so let's check out this trailer for Trigger Warning. Oh, James, you got to switch over to the audio first. Aye.
I'm sorry about your dad, but I'm glad you're home, kid.
Senator.
Parker, welcome back. People like you around here.
And this is going to be on
Like
Netflix, huh?
Harry, or liked him. I'd like to keep it that way.
I don't think his death was an accident.
Parker, stay out of it. See if there's a safe.
Ooh, okay. Well, we know that she can do the action. Yeah, because of like Dark Angel. Wow. Choreography is good, huh?
So what do you do for the government?
Wet work. Looks like she takes people out.
How's on?
What do you know about Senator Swan?
So, corrupt senator?
What the hell you got into? How much does Parker know about this?
Too much.
Okay.
This is about more than just my dad. I need to know the truth. If you pivot on that back foot, you won't punch like such a little bitch.
I don't know what really happened to Harry.
Okay. Oh, wow. Stunt work there. Trigger warning, huh? When does this come out? June 21st. So next month, guys. We could do a live watch along for that one, I think. That one looks pretty good, right? Jessica Alba. Anthony Michael Hall. Evil dies tonight. I'll never get that out of my head, guys. That's how bad Halloween Kills sucked. A Special Forces commando returns to her hometown after her father's sudden death, only to run afoul of a violent gang who she starts asking questions. So it's a little bit like Roadhouse, right? Where she goes to her hometown and then her hometown's been overrun by some gangster or something, a bad senator who feels like he owns everything and she's got to set them straight. That fight sequence there in the hardware store, that's awesome. Yeah. And here's the thing about this. This looks natural, right? This choreography, because it is, but it looks, and this is what Jessica's really good at, selling it. And this is where perhaps maybe Sofia Boutella was lacking in
So what do you do?
Rebel Moon. Because when you saw the fight sequences in Rebel Moon, that's where it looked a little bit more like a dance. And let me pull up that trailer here for that. Yeah. So all this stuff, like this felt like, okay, she's waiting, she's timing. You can see her thinking of counting in her head the stop, go now, move, jump. But Jessica Alba, I think, does a better job of it because she's got a little bit more experience, maybe with like Dark Angel and stuff like that, right? Yeah, trigger warning. Interesting trailer. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Jessica Alba is such a beauty back in action in like her old Dark Angel days. Or was it Dark Angel? Is that what I said, right? Didn't I say Dark Angel? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm getting confused. Trigger warning, release date June 21st. Bifer says in the live chat, a woman that can handle herself. I'm on board for that. Yeah. Welcome back, Jessica. This looks movie based on Far Cry game. I never played Far Cry. They should show the entire movie in this trailer, do they? Well, you know, what do you think is going to happen? Okay, there's a corrupt senator. She comes back. She's got the special skills to deal with it. She's going to take them out. Spoiler alert. we know that that's going to happen, right? But it's kind of like we want to feel vindicated by her story by the end of it. I mean, that shot, like, wow. It looks like somebody actually fell down there, but I don't know if the fire is CGI. Stunt work I appreciate all the time. Trigger warning, fascinating. That's on my map now, June 21st. Arglass says, dare I say the fight sequences in Peppermint are raw and brutal. I still need to watch Peppermint. Trigger warning is a political title. What do you think they will have some politics in the movie? Well, we know that they're a senator. I think Anthony Michael Hall is the senator, right? Are you a fan of the Witcher seasons, James? No, I am not. I'm not. Let's move on. Karen Gillan. I'm a big fan of Karen Gillan. Late Bloomers trailer sets release date for Karen Gillan comedy. Late Bloomers. Comedy drama starring Karen Gillan. Playing a 28-year-old woman. Is that believable? Is Karen too old to play a 28-year-old? She's 36. I don't know why I just get intoxicated by Scottish redhead women. Hey, I do. But it is what it is. Late Bloomers. I don't know that much about this. So the synopsis reads, here she crosses paths with Antonina, a cantankerously elderly Polish woman who speaks no English. Reluctantly, Louise takes on the role of Antonina's caregiver, a situation neither of them welcomes. As they navigate their begrudging relationship, they confront the realities of their aging, forcing Louise to consider her own journey into adulthood. Okay. Well, let's check this out. Late Bloomers. Karen Gillan.
Hello? I broke my hip?
You're not like other 30-year-olds now.
I'm 28. This is Antonina.
She's 28. Well, maybe she's lying about her age. Did you get the impression that she's lying?
Different stages of development. Hey!
Wariatka.
Excuse your tone.
Okay.
Antonina, wait up! Is there
someone that we should tell that you're streetwalking or streetwalkering?
Hey,
She's staying here for the night.
it's your grandma?
I wasn't gonna leave
Have
her
a
on
little
the
butt on the table.
You gonna give it back?
She's not a puppy.
You know she would have been safe if you did nothing.
Well, I did something and she was safe too. I'm sorry, I was just trying to take care of her.
Do you have a job?
Oh,
Please. I'm desperate.
oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, totally. It's gonna be fun. Dad, got a job.
A job is great, Louise.
Is that,
Can't get her to her then, but
Who is that?
Or she'll...
Hey, I got it.
is that Kevin
Did you ever,
Nealon?
like, hurt anyone with that?
Okay, music.
Review. Have never inspired anyone.
I don't think that, Louise.
This one looks like it may be at the Art House Theater.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did that. Okay. Last time I was home.
I'd rather not.
Let in the good memories.
Kevin Nealon, right?
Make some new ones.
Never too old. Channel the energy. Feel the ball. Make the ball go
I can say whatever you want
home.
to me, and I can say whatever I want to you, and that is the beauty of our relationship. You are a diaper person. Nothing to be ashamed of. Now these are cool.
Aye.
This is my boy.
That was not what I wanted to see. Karen Gillan in a diaper. Okay. Late bloomers. Huh. Oh, that looks charming. Not a lot of people commenting. I love Karen Gillan. Every movie where she is in, it's a good movie. So there's a diehard fan. This video sets an exceptional standard. Value the voyage, for it molds your greatness. What is the name of the song playing? It's an original song from the movie, huh? Looks fairly harmless. I think she's lying about her age, though. She's not 28. Yeah. Okay. Keep our eye on that. All right. Is that it for trailer reactions? I think so. Yeah, we're not going to watch... We can't get bogged down in all this stuff. Let's move on to hit or miss. We're going overtime today. We still got to get to the movie review for Back to Black. Let's give some hit or miss. Deathstalker remake unveils first official image of Daniel Bernhard as the title character. So a Sword and Sandals movie, Deathstalker. That does not sound familiar to me. Let's just take a look. All right, it's a little low budget, but are you looking forward to the Deathstalker remake? Not really, because this is the first time I've ever heard of it. In fact, I've never even heard of the original. Pass. Next. The Possession at Gladstone Manor stars horror icons Barbara Crampton and Lynn Shay. Well, we do like Lynn Shay. And I did like how they worked her in for Insidious the Red Door. I thought that was very clever. What is this movie? The Possession of Gladstone Manor. Jimmy Black looks into her mom's vanishing at Gladstone Manor by taking the same job. She finds clues about others missing and confronts otherworldly evil forces, suggesting her mother's disappearance is part of a larger sinister mystery. Kaylee Cowan's in this one. Okay. Well, I do like her. She was in Willy's Wonderland. Lynn Shay. So we got some horror pedigree in there. Barbara Crampton. Meh. It's horror. When is this supposed to come out? Doesn't say. Meh. Next. Iron Man star Terrence Howard felt betrayed by Robert Downey Jr. when being recast. He says, "I need the help I gave you." Well, Terrence Howard dropped off the map after, he was going to be on his way to stardom if he had just taken the deal. Well, if you don't know what happened here, guys, Terrence Howard had more clout at the time of Iron Man 1 because he just came off successes like Crash and stuff like that. And people were like, he's got talent. So Robert Downey Jr. was on the outs because he had some run-ins with his vices, and he was trying to get cleaned up and trying to get back into the game again. And Terrence Howard said, what about the Favreau and stuff like that? And we would like to have... He added his voice to the pantheon that wanted Downey as Iron Man, right? And then when Iron Man 2 came around, he was like, well, I'm going to come back, but I want to get paid more. And they were like, no. He says, well, then I'm not going to come back. I'm putting my foot down. And that's why we have Don Cheadle now as his character. So that's the background of that story. So now it's reversed. Robert Downey Jr. Is got more clout, and Terrence Howard's kind of like grasping at straws. Buffer in the live chat says that he was great in Prisoners. Yes, he was. He was good in Prisoners. He's a good actor. I do not doubt his talent. Unfortunately, if you have been watching Terrence Howard headlines of the last couple of weeks or while, he's been kind of losing it upstairs, man. And if you saw some of the clips of him on Joe Rogan claiming that he invented AI and stuff like that, he's gone down the conspiracy rabbit hole. And I question a little bit of his mental fitness right now. So maybe he's asking for help in that aspect, because Robert Downey Jr. did fight stuff, right? And came back from it. So maybe he needs help in that aspect. But going on Joe Rogan is not a good idea because Joe Rogan likes to... You think that he's helping you by getting your voice out there by talking about all these weird conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it only makes you look terrible, dude. Anyway, that's what's happened to Terrence Howard as of late. Is there room for him to come back? Not in the MCU, but acting-wise? Just don't demand so much. Start off small. Act professional when you're on set. Don't get a big head like you did from the Iron Man 1 experience, and that's what I would advise Robert. That's what I would advise Terrence Howard. One last one here, guys, before we get into the last few stories. This one's kind of like, I don't know what to make of this one. Matthew Perry passed on last year, and sorry, I got to deal with something. Matthew Perry passed on last year, and there's headlines now that his passing is going to be investigated by the LAPD and DEA. So everybody thought that he had passed on from a ketamine mixture, right? So opening this wound back up, I don't know. It gives me pause. Are you suggesting that perhaps there's foul play? Is that what they're saying? This is getting splashed over the big trades. And I only pulled the one headline. I thought I pulled another one. Yeah. Sources are being investigated by authorities into his death. He was 54 years old, October 28th. He had cardiac arrest, right? But he had, once again, he had fought addictions, and he had championed it for the longest of times. but he had ketamine in his system. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I'll keep my eye on that one. See where that materializes. All right. Okay, so we talked about the Madame Web story. We talked about that. Okay, so we're all caught up. Now, this is a story that I didn't put in the headlines or anything like that, but this is a story that is trending on Twitter, Google, and we got to get into it. Just to add some clarity and add my expertise, because this is something that debuted at Cannes. And again, I don't like to talk a lot of the political stuff here on the channel, but we will. The Apprentice. What is that Donald Trump movie that everybody's talking about? The Apprentice director offers Trump film screening at Cannes, despite Trump's campaign threatening a lawsuit. So what is this Trump movie, The Apprentice? It stars Sebastian Stan, Jeremy Strong, and Maria Bakalova. And it tells the story of young Donald Trump as he started his real estate business in the 1970s and 1980s. This debuted at Cannes, and it had a lot of backing behind it from investors. And now that the movie's coming out, it got like a standing ovation. People liked it. But some of the investors are feeling like, wait a minute, you're not exactly painting him in a best of light here. I don't know if I like this. I don't want my money invested in this anymore, says one of the investors. The guy who used to own, I think, the Washington football team. I'm not going to call it the old team because of this guy's. That guy who got ousted, he put money in this because he was backing Trump. And now that the movie's come out, and despite people liking it, giving it an ovation, he's like, well, it doesn't paint him in the best of light. Well, what did you think was going to happen? Right? People seem to like it. So Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, playing Donald Trump. Yes, this Winter Soldier, from the MCU, that guy, he's playing Donald Trump. I have looked at it and it's kind of like, well, if it's ever on TV, maybe I'll take a look at it, but it's getting good buzz. That's what you need to know. So there is that lawsuit coming in on it, on the movie The Apprentice. And Maria Bakalova playing Ivana Trump, right? She was in Borat 2. That's where you'll recognize her, where she interviewed Rudy Giuliani. And that kind of, if you didn't like that story, then you probably won't like this remaining story. So people are liking it. Will there be a lawsuit? There was quotes in here saying that, Donald Trump threatens to sue a whole bunch of people, and those lawsuits and those suing lawsuits, what's the percentage rate of them actually being successful and stuff like that? Not many of them, apparently. So it's always ever been perceived as a threat. The backer that's threatening this lawsuit is saying that, well, I want to put my money out and I don't want the movie to be seen anymore by people. Well, you can't because you don't own the rights to it. You just didn't put your money into it. That's all. So the movie's going to come out regardless. If you don't want to see it, then don't see it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Is it going to hurt Trump's campaign? No. I don't think it will, because movie fans are not really, they're not going to be like, well, that's going to influence my vote. Not really, because this is set before all of that stuff. The time for this is in the 70s and 80s, guys, when he's doing his real estate deals. So that's what you need to know about the Donald Trump movie, The Apprentice, and what's going on with the fiasco of the lawsuits. I don't think any of them is ever going to come into fruition, and if they do, it's not going to go anywhere because the rights are the studios, not the directors, not the people involved into it. That's more on the business side of movie making stuff. And when you ask questions about political stuff here on this movie channel, we don't really want to delve too much into that. But when you do make movies about that, well, that is my domain. I do know about movies. So there you go. Ali Abbasi doesn't believe Donald Trump would be thrilled about how he's presented in the film, but adds, I don't necessarily think that this is a movie he would dislike. Because right now, yeah, he is running a campaign. He doesn't want any kind of negativity, I suppose, shown right now. So maybe in the years to come, he'll find a place for it. So that's what you need to know about it, guys. Hey, if you like talking about movie news stuff, come join us here on Mirror Domains, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines, like the new Furiosa movie, the new X-Men gets a writer. We're going to get a Star Trek reboot. Are you interested about any of this stuff? Beetlejuice 2. Gary Oldman, Glen Powell, a bunch of Netflix trailer reactions, the new Superman suit. If you like this kind of stuff, come join us here on Mirror Domains. We do movie reviews for The Strangers, Chapter 1, If. I Saw the TV Glow, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, with full series reactions like for Fallout. And then we do movie news throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines. What do you think about this Donald Trump story? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Okay, that's out of the way. Now, let's get set up for our movie review for Back to Black that I saw yesterday. Yes, I am sorry, Chris Schober. I had to put you in the timeout room because of that one comment. I don't mind you talking about weird stuff like what you're having for breakfast or whatever. Keep it focused on movie stuff, though, please. Okay, let's make sure I got all my materials set up. I got the IMDb. Put up the movie review thing, James. And this will be cut out and put up later. Back! Oh, let's turn off this. Turn off the fan for this one. Because it's like plus 28 with humidity today, guys. We are in summer season here. So for the rest of the year, summer here, you're probably going to hear the fan buzz in the background. I'll try to boost the noise suppressor a little bit. We'll just have to roll with it, though. It is what it is. It adds a little bit of distortion to the voice. But for this, I'll do it clean. Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse movie is in theaters right now, guys, and I don't know what language that is in the poster, but my apologies. Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse biopic comes in at 2 hours and tells the life and music of Amy Winehouse through the journey of adolescence to adulthood and the creation of one of the best-selling albums of our time. So, the movie stars Marissa Abella as Amy, and she does a good job. Jack O'Connell is Blake. He does a good job. And Eddie Marzan plays Mitch, her father, who is the real standout in this. So here is what you need to know about this movie. If you are an Amy Winehouse fan and you want to see her go down a self-destructive path, or don't, maybe you don't want to watch her go down a self-destructive path. This movie delves into her addictions, and I, at first glance, liked it. And I still think I liked aspects of this film. It moves fairly well for the first hour and 30 minutes. And then it kind of like, at the end, really moves and goes over the last parts, the last years of her life like that. It's like, wait a minute. I don't know if I like this part of it. It goes to establish her relationship with the Blake person and how toxic that relationship was. It tries to humanize him a little bit and her, like her desire to find love and somebody who wants to love her back, like she just wants to find a family and be a mother and stuff like that. but she's obviously never had it all together up here. And the beginning of the film portrays it as if she does have it all together up there, with her relationship with her father and stuff. And I don't know if I like that, because she doesn't have it together up there. And then, of course, when you add in the alcohol and the drugs into the mix, where she's like, no, I don't like drugs, because the Blake character introduces it to her and stuff. It's like, you want to help her, right? You want her to, you want to be able to say, stop this, don't do that. But if you have any experience with addiction, or people who have gone through this, like, yes, it's hard to not be like, please stop, please, there is a better way to do it, please don't go down this route. But if you have experience with it, then you know they've got to go down that route, and they're going to hit rock bottoms. The movie shows her hitting rock bottoms a couple times. Is it as upfront and in your face as some people would want? Like, if you want to see her really hit rock bottoms, then this movie doesn't exactly show that to you. Does it sugarcoat it? I don't think so. Like, she does wake up in places where it's like, what, Amy, what are you doing here? And she's got bruises and cuts on her face, and that's what happens with people who fight addictions. I would have liked it more, I think, if we focused in on the music side of things. If we got to see her in the studio saying, no, I don't like this bit and I don't like that bit. There are parts in the beginning where we do see her with a guitar trying to hammer out song lyrics and stuff. And that's very much what I wanted to see. So that's why I say that the beginning was good, because every musician sits here going over the same chords. That sounds okay. That sounds good. No, I don't know if I like that. Maybe I like it if it goes there instead, right? So she does a couple of things like that in the movie, and I think that that stuff works for me. But we know that we eventually have to get to the part where things start to go off the rails, and it kind of really glosses over a lot of the last years of her life. And that's where I think people won't like it. Like, at the 40-minute mark to the hour in, I was like, are they just going to focus in on one part of this particular part of her life, the Blake part? And if that's going to be the case, then I think I'm going to like this movie, because you are just taking a certain aspect of her life and you're highlighting that to us, that struggle that she has, right? And I'll like it if it's staying like that, but then it just jumps into hyperdrive in the third act, where it's like, okay, now all of a sudden she wants to go to rehab. Now she wants to write the rehab song that we all know, and it seems like that part was shoehorned in at the end. That some people will not like that, right? I won't doubt her talent. I think people will be having issues with her not being portrayed as abstract as she was. So let's pull up my score sheet and talk about some preliminary numbers here. So acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point. So acting, I think for the most part, guys, I'm going to give it a solid 2, because she did a good job, and the father does a great job of, like, there's a moment here when the father realizes how far off the deep end she's gone, and he's on the phone with her, and he just kind of like breaks down. It's like, oh no, like, and you felt it here, right? That's why I'm giving acting a full 2 points. The ending, the directing, the story, it's there. The ingredients are there. I just don't know if it's going to work for everybody. And I don't know if the directing of it, there's aspects of it that I liked. Like, they go into a bar at the end, and she's like, I can feel grandma's presence in here, mom's presence in here, right? Yeah, it was grandma's presents. I like that aspect of it. Like there's some notes, some paintbrush strokes in here that are very well handled. So I may come back to directing and story. Cinematography was good. Score, it's her music for the most part. Her writing the music. So I'll give the score a full point. I think that's worthwhile. Cinematography, I think, is serviceable. I'm sitting at a 5.5 right now for Back to Black. And I think, yeah, let's go over and take a look at what the tomato meter said for Back to Black. Oh, 35% by critics, 87% by the audience. So there's a big disparity here. So what's going on? I'm guessing that the audience liked it because they're Amy Winehouse fans, which is what this movie, you're going to get that bulk of the audience first. People who liked Amy Winehouse are going to go out and check this regardless of what the critics are saying. So that's why you're going to get a high score. And you're going to get the diehard ones that will be like, I don't care if it's good or bad, then I'm still going to like it because I like Amy Winehouse. And I don't care what you say. So you're going to have that aspect. But then you're also going to get people that are like, well, I want to learn about her. And in that aspect, you do learn about her. I just don't know if it's going to land for you at the end. 35% by critics. I'm sure this is all going to be about pacing and tone towards the end. And I said that in my breakdown. So let's go down and take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. Audience. Catherine, a life's cut short due to addictions brought on the inability to try to please others that she didn't know who she was. Well, I think she didn't know who she was, but she also, I don't know if, that sounds like you're a fan of Amy Winehouse and you don't quite want to acknowledge that perhaps it wasn't altogether up there. Oh, my camera's timed out again. Why? This happened yesterday. I gotta check my power settings. I'll have to edit this part out, guys. Don't worry. I'll edit that out. But hey, this is what happens when you do it live. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a hard minefield to dodge here. Because if you're a fan of hers and you've had no interactions with addictions, then you're not going to understand it. And there's a few times in it where I kind of called out, that's not how an alcoholic would work. Like she has a drink on the table and she leaves this amount in. That's not how alcoholics would do it. They don't. That's down the hatch. So the depiction of that, I do call into question. Anyway, Rafer Guzman, who's a critic, an incomplete version of a well-known story. Okay, so they know some more facts of how perhaps gritty and dark things got for her. Back to Black adds up nothing more than Daily Mail headlines. Okay, so let's go and take a look at a few more critics' reviews, because I do want to get a more, that doesn't add too much there. I do not like the new Rotten Tomatoes. Shadows on the Wall, wonderfully centered around her musicality and spark personality. The film is a celebration anchored in a terrific performance by a gifted Marissa Abella. And yes, she does give a good performance. There's a great scene in the pool hall with the Blake person where they meet and fall in love, and all of that stuff works because it's well acted, and it's sold to you that she buys into love, and that's why that's her driving force. But it doesn't do a good job of that's what's also blinding and hindering her. Like that's I don't know. It's kind of hard to articulate exactly. Like that it does blind her and block her goals. Like that's why she gets so intoxicated with. She's more intoxicated with the concept of the relationship of it than she is with the person Blake, right? Even though she gets it tattooed on her, James, don't you know that? Blah blah blah. Yes, I know that. I know that. Oy, yeah. So you see what I mean by here, there's a delicate minefield that I'm trying to dance around and stuff, right? New York Post. Perhaps there was a strong movie buried in here somewhere if the filmmakers had not made so many traditional choices to dull a messy figure of Hollywood. To dull. Yeah, Wendy Lee Zaney liked it. Marissa Abella did a phenomenal job as Amy Winehouse. However, it did not dive deep enough on the music and songwriting front. That I agree about. Yeah, I would like to have seen more of the music stuff because she understood jazz, which means you have to understand some fundamentals of music theory, which she did, right? That I wanted to see more of. It was fine as a biopic, but it was a bit too surface level. I would say that the movie suffers a lot from like the direction of where they were trying to go with the relationship stuff. But then I think maybe perhaps I would surmise that the studios were like, well, when are we going to get to the crazy part? Get to the crazy parts already. Please, please, please. And maybe that's not what the movie was going to set out to do initially. But we want to hear her say the rehab song. Well, this movie's not going to get to that part. Well, make it get to that part anyway. And so they put that in at the last minute kind of thing, right? There's a great part here where she's singing and she says at one point in the movie, what's going on with my camera? Wow. That's the second time it did that. It's telling me I gotta go get off. There's a part in the movie here where she's singing and she starts bawling, breaking down. It's a great performance. Like that's a highlight scene for sure. And that's why I would say it's worthy of seeing. So let's wrap up my score sheet and see where I finally land on Back to Black. If you are an Amy Winehouse fan, then you will want to check it out. If you are curious about her music and stuff, then you want to check it out. But I think story-wise, where do I bump this up? Because 6.5 seems a little bit low. I'll give the directing 7 out of 10. Yeah. Because there's a scene in here where she's obviously intoxicated performing on stage, which is on YouTube too as well, where they reenact that. And I guess, like, you're like, why did anybody let her up on stage? Right? Like, that's what I mean when you look at it and you look at people who deal with addictions. Like, you feel uncomfortable watching that because you know somebody's having an episode. You know somebody's not handling it well. 7 out of 10. It's a bit low for me, but I think it's the right score. Back to Black. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. Have you seen it? Do you agree that it's maybe not hard-hitting enough? If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. And hey, come join us here on Mirror Domains, because we do talk about other things like Superman suit and trailer reactions for Rings of Power and House of Dragon Season 2, movies like Megalopolis, and movie reviews for The Strangers and If, I Saw the TV Glow, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and full series reactions for things like Fallout. And then we do movie news headlines throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. Everything movies here on Mirror Domains.